Hey, this is the McGuire Review, and we're going to be taking a look at Don't Mess With Cthulhu by Indie Boards and Cards. This is a new one that came out, and I did a Kickstarter on this one, and it's actually a reskin. I don't want to say a remake, but it's kind of a reskin, different artwork, different theme, obviously following the Cthulhu theme, around a card game that's been out for quite some time. And, you know, it's a really interesting party game, and I like to call this one a party game because that's generally how I've played it and how I've seen it played out the best. You can get in quite a few people on this one. It's a 4 to 6 players, 14 plus, and 20 minutes. And I don't know if it necessarily will take you every time 20 minutes to play this out because it is very, very straightforward, very simple. It's really a bluffing game is one of its base mechanics, which I really like, and it's a lot of fun. So let's hit the components really quick. See, we got the rule book here. It's a very short little rule book. It's pretty much just text, and on the back here, the last page, they've got a really nice full example for a 4-player game of how that would play out and what that would look like as it was laid out, which I thought was really nice for them to add in at the very end just to kind of solidify the rules and everything that's in the book. What you'll see here is they include, these are your investigator and your cultist cards, very, very thick card stock. They've got great artwork. I'll show a few of these here, and I'll have pictures here at the end when we're done. And this is actually 2 investigators and 1 cultist here. And you can see they've got some nice artwork on the front. And that's all it is. It just has your artwork, and then it will list if they're a cultist or an investigator. And then on the back, they all look like this. And you're going to want to keep those hidden. There's a reason for that. We'll explain here in a second. You'll also see there are a few chits here that had the little kind of a little baby Cthulhu on them, and these are really used when you play multiple rounds with the group. And at the end of each one of those rounds, whoever's a winner will get, you know, these tokens, and then after quite a few rounds, you'll end the game, and you can see, oh, how many people have, you know, the max amount of Cthulhu tokens, and then you can determine the winners and the losers based on those tokens that you have acquired. Here we've got the investigator card deck, and they all have the same card back, which is essentially the flashlight here. There's 3 different types of artwork that are on the back side. One of them is what's called just a futile investigation card. The other one is the elder sign. And then there's going to be 1 card in the deck that is called the Cthulhu card. And it's got some artwork there, kind of a cartoony Cthulhu on it. And that's going to basically, when that card's revealed, that's going to allow whoever's in the game that's a cultist to actually win. Where your elder signs, once those are revealed, and you'll have as many of those in a deck as there are players. Again, minimum being 4. Now, there are rules in the book. You can play this game as a 3-player game, and there's some adjustments for that, but it's mainly designed to be a 4 to 6-player game. Once all those elder signs are revealed, the investigators can win. So there's a couple different ways that the cultists can win, and we'll go over that here in a second. The next item that we have here, this is the active player token, and I really like the way they did this as well. Again, nice thick hard card stock, and it's the a big, you know, flashlight, double-sided on both sides being that flashlight. And this is used to just indicate who's the active player as it goes around each round. There's only 4 rounds in a game. The last thing we've got here is, again, I kickstarted this game, so they included a fairly hefty pack of extra exclusives for that Kickstarter. So there's a deck of cards here that will add a little bit of a couple different variations on win conditions, as well as items that you can have in this deck. There's also quite a few more artwork on the cultists as well as the investigators. That's included here. So let's go ahead and get into setup. I'm going to go in here to the rule book because based on how many players there are in the game, you'll take different components or different amounts of components. So let's just say we're going to do a 4-player game. The amount of investigators will be 3, and the amount of cultists will be 2. So we're going to take our investigators and our cultists here, and we're going to look through, and again, each one of those are marked right on the bottom of what they are. And we're going to take out 3 investigators and 2 cultists. And there will be 1 extra here, obviously, because we're not playing the 5 or 6 player game. Set this one aside. We're not going to need it. And we're going to take these and we're going to shuffle them up. All right, we're going to go to our deck of cards then now, and we're going to look here and we're going to see, okay, for 4 players, we need 15 futile investigation cards. We need 4 elder signs. There's always as many elder signs as there are players in the deck. And we need 1 Cthulhu, and there will always be only 1 Cthulhu card. So we need 4 of these. We need 15 of these. And let's get our 1 Cthulhu card out. So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we got our 15 futile investigation cards. We now have our 4 elder sign cards
and our 1 Cthulhu. These cards will now be set aside. They will not be used for the game. Okay, so we're going to get these cards, and we're going to shuffle this deck up really good. Okay, we got these shuffled up now, and we are ready to play. So we have our stack of investigator and cultist cards. We have our stack of investigation cards. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and pass out, and let's say we're playing a 4-player game again. We're going to go ahead and pass out these cards, and we're going to pass 1 to each player. So there will be obviously some cards left over, so we won't know what each player's role is, and you won't reveal that until the very, very end. So let's just say we're playing 4 players, so we're going to, each person is going to get 1 of these cards, and we're going to have 1 that's left over, and we're going to keep that out of the game. We're going to keep that separate and secret. Now we're going to take our investigation cards, and each person is going to get 5 cards. So
that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that's all the cards in our hand now.
Each player is going to look at their cards secretly and determine what they have in their hand. Okay, so for example, I ended up getting 1 elder sign card and 4 of the standard futile investigation cards. All right, so I know that. No one else does. And at this point, what I'm going to do is, after everyone's looked at their cards, they're going to now either tell the truth or lie. And they're going to basically say what they have in their hand. Okay, I have 1 elder sign and 4 futile. And I could tell that to everybody. I could say, you know what? I have 1 elder sign and I have 4 futile. Or I could lie and say, you know what? I got the Cthulhu card in my hand. Or I have 3 elder sign. Now, there's a strategy to that, because you're also going to look at who you are. And I ended up, for this example, getting the cultist. So as the cultist, for me to win, and there could be other cultists around the table as well, for the cultist to win, I need to reveal successfully, or another cultist needs to reveal successfully, the Cthulhu card that is hidden in one of these players' hands. Okay? Or I need to make sure that after all the cards have been revealed, or 4 rounds have gone by, not all of the elder signs have came out. So if 4 of the elder signs haven't been revealed by the 4th round, or after all these cards are revealed, the cultists also win. So that's going to be my goal for this round. So as knowing that I'm a cultist, I'm going to look at my cards. I don't have the Cthulhu card, but I'm going to be looking for it. But I do have an elder sign, and I don't want other investigators to get the elder sign. So I may go ahead and lie and say, I've got 5 futile cards. And that may be completely possible. I have 5 futile investigation cards. That's what I got. Well, the player here, let's see what they've got. Over here we got an investigator. And this investigator has 1, 2, 3, 4 futile investigation cards. But guess what? There's our Cthulhu card. So this investigator has the Cthulhu card. So as an investigator, they may not want to say they have the Cthulhu card, because they don't want people coming to look for it. So more than likely, as an investigator, they're going to lie and say, I have 4 futile investigation cards and 1 elder sign. Or I have 5 futile investigation cards. But it's going to be interesting because by time I say I have 5 futile investigation cards, if this player says, well, I have 5 futile investigation cards, immediately we're going to now start to know, just based on the math, that more than likely the chance is one of us is lying. So you can see that very quickly as you go around that table, you don't really know if someone's bluffing or telling the truth to what's in their hand based on the character that they're playing. And that's where the fun of this game really comes into play. So, after everyone's gone around, looked at their cards, made their truth or bluff, they're then going to shuffle their cards up so they themselves don't even know where the actual cards they have lie in front of them. And then everybody's going to put them cards out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in front of them. Just like that. That's what it's going to essentially look like once everybody's got their cards out and they're ready to start the game. Now again, the active player, let's say that was me for this round, is going to start. And I'm going to set this on one of these cards of any other player, not my own. Let's just say I want to choose this player here across from me. And I don't know if they're a cultist or an investigator, but I may have my guesses based on what they said they had in their hand. Let's say I think they are a cultist, like me. I'll just go ahead and pick them. And I'll set my active player token right on that card. And then I'm going to flip that card over and I'm going to bring it into the center of play. Okay, it's just a general futile investigation card. So we know now one of these players had a general futile investigation card. And if you remember what this player said they had, more than likely they said they at least had one futile investigation card. But again, as it plays out, if you can remember what people said they had, you can start to very quickly see who was bluffing and who was telling the truth. So we know that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set that in the center of play. It is now revealed. Now what's going to happen is the active player token is going to pass to the next player. And it's going to pass to the player that was chosen upon that last action. So since I chose the player across from me and I chose their card, they now become the active player and they get the token. It is now their choice to select where they want to place this active player token on which card. Let's say they chose to put it right there. Now everyone can weigh in and say, I don't think you should choose that card. I think you're a cultist and you're wanting to work with the guy that's across from you because, he might have the Cthulhu card. Or, there might be some investigators here that have the Cthulhu card. Because, if there was any cultists, no cultists said I have the Cthulhu card. So you can see there's lots of different ways you can look at it and play in the game. But let's say they wanted to choose this card. They would then flip over that card. We got another just general futile investigation card that goes in the center. It's now going to be this player's turn. This player is then going to choose a card. Let's say, I'm going to choose this guy across from me, and I'm going to put it there. Well, we would then flip that over. Another futile investigation card. And now it's this person's turn. And let's say that this guy now wants to say, you know what, I'm going to choose one of your cards. I'm going to choose that one. Okay, going to flip that over. Well, on that one we found an elder sign, which means everybody that is an investigator around this game is one step closer to winning because you need 4 of these as a 4-player game to win. So that elder sign is going to get revealed. And we can just keep that in the center of play because these cards are no longer used for the game. So the best way to probably do that is just keep your stack here of the futile investigation cards, keep your elder signs out front, and again, if that Cthulhu card ever pops up, cultists automatically win. Now, each person has gone once, and each person has taken one action. There is only the amount of actions in a round equals the amount of players in the game. So there's 4 players. We've taken 4 actions. We've revealed 4 cards. We're now ready to go to the next round of play. So we're entering into round number 2. And again, there's only 4 rounds in a game. What's going to happen is after the end of that round, grab all those cards and you're going to pull them together and you're going to shuffle them up again. And then you're going to evenly distribute them amongst the players in the game. So that's how that's going to happen. And then you're just going to keep continuing to take cards out and go round and round and round until you've completed 4 rounds. And that's essentially the game. And, amongst that 4 rounds, it's going to get really, really fun the closer and closer you get to end game. And who are the cultists? who are the investigators. At the end of every round, you're again going to reshuffle. You're going to get your cards. You're going to secretly look at them again. You're going to make your statement of this is how many cards I have, whether that's truthful or a bluff again. So you can see how fun this game is and how simple this game is. I mean, it's definitely your beer and pretzels type game. You know, you can pull this out with anybody. It's a great gateway game. You know, if you've got some friends that aren't into playing, you know, more of your epic style adventure board games or more complex card games, you can pull this out. Anybody can play it. It's great for families. It's great for friends. This has been Don't Mess With Cthulhu by Indie Boards and Cards. Hit that like, click that subscribe below to join. This has been the McGuire Review, and we'll see you guys next time.